48 hours. That may be all that's left. Right now, as you're watching this, the USS Gerald Ford, the most powerful warship ever built, just entered the Strait of Gibraltar and is pushing east through the Mediterranean. At current speed, it'll be within striking distance of Iran by Thursday. In response, Iran did something it hasn't done in decades, not since the Iran-Iraq War of the 80s. They took over the single most important oil choke point on planet Earth and shut it down. But it's what happened next that has the entire world on edge. Tuesday morning, February 17th, Iran's Revolutionary Guard announced live-fire naval exercises in the Strait of Hormuz. Missiles launched from warships, missiles from coastal batteries, missiles from inland sites, all of them hitting targets inside the strait, while Tehran declared the waterway temporarily closed for safety and maritime concerns. The Iranian Navy commander, Rear Admiral Tangsiri, stood on the deck of an Iranian warship and announced that Iran maintains total 24-hour intelligence surveillance over the strait, including its surface, aerial, and subsurface, and that Tehran has no red lines when it comes to controlling this waterway, meaning there's no limit to what Iran is willing to do to maintain control over the Strait of Hormuz. Analysts confirm this is the first time Iran has announced a closure of the strait since the 1980s, when they laid mines across the channel during their war with Iraq. Back then, it took the U.S. Navy months of mine sweeping to clear the waterway. Dozens of ships were damaged. The USS Samuel B. Roberts nearly sank after hitting an Iranian mine in 1988. And what we have to understand here is that Iran just told the world they're ready to do it again if necessary. Now, here's the part that turns this from a military drill into a geopolitical chess move. At the exact same time these missiles were hitting the water, Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, were sitting inside the residence of the Omani envoy in Geneva, conducting the second round of indirect nuclear talks with Iran. Now, the timing wasn't an accident. This was a message. Iran was telling Washington, you can send your negotiators, you can send your carriers, you can send your threats, but we control the choke point. And if you push us too far, the entire global economy pays the price. 13 million barrels a day. 31% of all seaborne crude oil passes through that strait. China gets the bulk of its energy through that strait, over 80% of its oil. Same goes for India, Japan, South Korea. A prolonged closure doesn't just hurt Iran. It detonates a bomb under the entire world economy. And oil prices started climbing the very same day from just a few hours of temporary closure. Now, hours before the drill, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei delivered a message aimed squarely at the two American aircraft carriers sitting in the Arabian Sea. He warned that the strongest army in the world might sometimes receive such a slap that it cannot get back on its feet. And he added, of course, a warship is a dangerous apparatus, but more dangerous than the warship is the weapon that can sink the warship into the depths of the sea. Now, he's talking there about anti-ship missiles. Iran has hundreds of them positioned along its coastline, the Khalij Fars, the Noor, the Qadr. Can they actually sink a U.S. supercarrier? Well, most analysts say that's extremely difficult given our layered defenses, but of course there's always the risk that they most certainly could cause serious damage and casualties. And the United States is not taking those words and actions lightly. And what President Trump just did changes everything. But first, all of this geopolitical tension should remind us of something. What if the censored medicine that saved millions during the pandemic was being made mostly in China today? It's actually true. About 80% of the world's ivermectin supply comes from Asia, but not at the wellness company introducing American-made ivermectin. Safe, trusted, tested, and produced locally in the great free state of Florida. Ivermectin has been prescribed globally for more than 30 years and even earned the Nobel Prize in Medicine for its proven ability to eliminate parasites. But after success treating COVID, emerging research shows the wonder drug can help with everything from rosacea, arthritis, and even cancer. Most pharmacies charge $5 a tablet for 12 milligrams or less, but the wellness company is offering a higher 18 milligram dose for just $3.50 per tablet. You'll get a 6-month supply of 84 tablets, all at an unbeatable price. Just click on that link below and support American medicine and patriot doctors, not China's supply chain. Get your U.S.-made ivermectin today at twc.health/Turley and use code Turley to save $45 off plus free shipping. Click on that link below right now. We now have 40,000 troops in the region. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier strike group was already in the Arabian Sea. 2 weeks ago, the Pentagon deployed the USS Gerald Ford, the most advanced warship ever built, to join it. That's 2 super carriers, 5 air wings across 5 countries, F-35s, F-18s, Tomahawk cruise missiles, and THAAD and Patriot air defense systems. That's the largest American military concentration in the Middle East in over 2 decades. And this buildup didn't come out of nowhere. On February 3rd, just 2 weeks before the Strait closure, 6 Islamic Revolutionary Guard gunboats tried to seize a U.S.-flagged tanker in the Strait. The ship ignored their demands and continued under Navy escort. The same day, an F-35 shot down an Iranian drone that was approaching the USS Abraham Lincoln. 2 incidents, same day. Now, neither side escalated further, but CENTCOM issued a very blunt warning afterward. The U.S. military will not tolerate unsafe Islamic Guard actions, including weapons, pointed at American ships. So here's the reality. Both sides right now are flexing. Both sides have leverage. Iran can threaten the global oil supply. America can threaten Iran's existence. And both sides demonstrated this week that they're willing to go to the edge. But here's the key in all of this. With this massive U.S. military buildup, both sides are still talking. That's actually the signal. Iran's foreign minister just said that after the Geneva round of talks, that a new window had indeed opened and that both sides have agreed on guiding principles, with Iran expected to present detailed proposals within 2 weeks. Iran closed the strait and kept talking. That's not a country that wants war. That's a country negotiating from a position of calculated aggression, showing what it could do while leaving the door open for a deal. But President Trump appears insistent that whatever deal is made is going to be made on American terms. And that is precisely where Venezuela comes in, most particularly Venezuelan oil. In fact, that's where the latest talks with Albertan separatists also come in. You see, a direct line to both Venezuelan and Albertan oil would completely insulate America from any Middle East oil shock. Iran may think it's negotiating from a position of strength in threatening the strait. All they appear to be doing is hardening Trump's resolve to make the United States the hemispheric center of Western oil production and reserves for the entire world. And that would indeed change the entire geopolitical map in terms of the historic leverage that Middle Eastern countries have been able to levy, most especially Iran. And so we'll obviously continue to watch very closely how things play out, especially in the next 48 hours. But it does appear that the positioning of so many pieces on the geopolitical chessboard are beginning to finally make total and game-changing sense. Before you go, gang, if you want to be part of a community where faith, family, and freedom come alive, check out the Courageous Patriot Club. I love for you to see what this community is all about. You can watch a free preview of Turley Walks, one of my exclusive weekly series. Head on over to turley.pub/turleywalks.